Patrice is the co-founder and chief servant officer of both Nehemiah Project International Ministries and PG and Associates LLC, which he founded with his wife and best friend, Nehemiah Tsague. Patrice specializes in helping families incorporate their faith into their business practices, ensuring that their businesses are able to exist beyond the third generation. And now, introducing Patrice Tsague.
Welcome to the Nehemiah Entrepreneurship Community Podcast. I'm your host, Patrice Tsague, and today we're going to continue a series we started a while ago around my upcoming book, Biblical Entrepreneurship Essentials. We are now in part 4, and today in part 4, we're going to deal with a few sections. We're going to deal with the exit ramp to entrepreneurship. As you, on your journey to entrepreneurship, there may be several exit ramp that you may want to pick from, and then if we have time, we'll deal with the entrepreneurship ladder. So based on time, so we're going to focus today on the exit ramp, and if we have time, we'll get into the entrepreneurship ladder. Of course, so far we've been going over taking the book one chunk at a time. If you've not been a part of the other sections, just go to our blog at the E-Community Podcast, and there you'll be able to review the other podcasts around the book. If you want to order the book, you want to get a copy and pre-order, just a team, if you could put up the link of where they can order the book. You can pre-order, go to our store. There's the link there. There you can order the ebook, pre-order the paperback. You can also order, you can also get a free version of chapter 1 of the book. Okay, so just make sure you go there and grab a copy of the book for yourself. The book should be out any time now. And once it's out, we'll make sure we get it to you. I'm very excited about it. And so far, we've dealt with what it means to be an entrepreneur. In our last section, we've dealt with the endorsements. We've dealt with the overall book overview. Today, we're going to deal with the exit ramp. If you want to participate in our discussion today, you can ask me questions or share comments. We'd love to have you interact with us. So let's talk about the exit ramp. So as an entrepreneur, each of us, when we get into our journey towards entrepreneurship, whether you were born for business, whether it's something that you decided to do along the way in your journey as you based on circumstances, or whatever the reason, there are various exit ramps along the way to entrepreneurship. I want you to think about it like you're going on a long highway. You're going on a particular journey, and along the way, there are various places you can exit from. All right. So as an entrepreneur, most of us, when we get into business, my advice is always that you start by working for somebody else. All right. If you've never started a business, if you want to start a business, first get a good job. All right. Get a job, work for somebody else, learn how to be an employee. Like my younger brother now works for Nehemiah Project, right? He's learned how to be an employee, be a faithful employee. So you get the foundation, you get the character, you get the yes, that's it, exit ramp. You get the necessary, you build a relationship, you save money and the capital, so that way when you are ready, you'll be prepared. So all of us start out life as an employee, work for somebody else, either for your parents or for your family, for a neighborhood retail store, whatever it is. All right. That's kind of how we, each of us kind of start. So whether you are you're trying to start your own business or whether you are getting a job, I want you to keep this in. I'm going to read you a quote that's in the book that Steve Jobs, something that Steve Jobs said, the late Steve Jobs. He says, your time is limited. So don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be tried by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinion drown you out of your own inner voice. In other words, there's an inner voice that you have, something in you. We call it instincts. The thing, some of you guys who are Christians is guided by the Holy Spirit. Right? There's that instinct in you that sometimes we allow other people's opinion drown that so we don't do that which we believe, rather we respond based upon what others want us to do. Then he said, and most important, have the courage to follow your own heart or intuition. That somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. That has been the key to my success. The way I've lived my life, I've always followed my instinct. When I was a young teenager, 19 years old, my instinct told me to quit my job and start my business. I did it. And then along the way, my instinct told me to launch a nonprofit organization to help people entrepreneurship. I did it. Having no idea what a nonprofit was, I just went ahead and followed my instinct. And then after I came to Christ and I began to faithfully walk before the Lord, and the Lord spoke to my heart. This time it was not so much instinct as much the Lord leading me, but he led me to my intuition. As it led me to start biblical entrepreneurship, I did it. And then along the way, he led me to start the Nehemiah Project. I did it. In other words, and then he led me to take it to internationally. I did it. And he take it national. He led me to open a coaching program. You follow me? In other words, I've not allowed everybody else to guide what I do, but rather I've been led and allowed my intuition. I've allowed my inner voice to guide me. That's the key to being a successful entrepreneur. Right? It's to being guided by your inner voice, by your instinct. And if you're a Christian and you're led by the Holy Spirit, that's even more, because there's the power of God on the inside of you, guiding you. So trust that internal sense of wisdom. Believe in yourself. Listen to you. Yes, of course, in the multitude of counsel, there's safety. You need to yield to the counsel of others around you, but do not let it drown your inner voice. Because ultimately, it's about what God is speaking to you. So let's talk about these exit ramps. So on your journey to become an entrepreneur, the first exit ramp we talk about in the book is that you can become what we call a business hobbyist. A business hobbyist. And so let me read this for you. So while driving along the highway as an employee, you may realize that you have an entrepreneurship skills, but they aren't ready to you're not ready to let your stable paycheck go, right? You realize, you know what, I want to be an entrepreneur, but I still want to keep the stability of a paycheck, right? One option is to start a business while maintaining your own job, right? And so this exit ramp, where you can kind of do it as a hobby, right? Do it as something you're doing here and there while keeping your main job going. Now, a business hobbyist is someone who offers product and services more for personal enrichment than as a significant source of income, right? Hobbyists are not yet true entrepreneurs because they take a little risk, have no commitment to make their business thrive. They don't have an economic engine or a financial strategy to produce significant profit. In other words, they don't make a living running a business. However, they are learning how to offer services or create sellable products to create value for others, not as a way to make money, but just as something that they enjoy to do. They manage basic finances and relate to customers. There's nothing wrong with starting out as and even remaining a business hobbyist, even expanding, and even as you expand and make a profit. If your primary motivation is that you want to do something you enjoy for enjoyment's sake, you can remain a business hobbyist. You know, most people who do entrepreneurship as a hobby, they're doing it purely for what they enjoy. And one of the reasons why you may not want to turn your business into a core business that allows you to sustain yourself through it is because you don't want the pressure of having to rely on the business to make a living. Right, so that's why sometimes people might remain as a hobby or as purely a joyride. Now, here's the question: if you decide you'd like to turn your hobby into a profit business, what are some things for you to consider? All right. So first, if you have a hobby right now and you want to consider turning to a business, then what you want to first do is make sure that you have an economic engine that allows you to be profitable, right? Because see, the key difference between a hobby and a business is that a business have a clear economic engine that not only makes it sustainable, but also makes it profitable, right? The second thing is, do you have a commitment, the willingness to sacrifice and invest time, talents, and treasure to be able to make that business work? I was coaching a gal this morning. She has a business that she's done for a while. And then we were looking at her forecast, and I noticed in her forecast that she didn't have enough operating expenses to take care of herself. And I asked her the question, I said, is this something that you're hoping that will provide for you and sustain you and take care of you? She said, I'm a little confused there because, right now, my core job has a lot of demands on me, and I don't think I can really devote my focus in this right now. What she was essentially saying is that I don't yet believe that my business can make enough money now to take care of me. So I'm going to keep my day job, and I'm going to keep doing this as a hobby, something I enjoy. That's okay. If that's you, that's completely okay. All right. Because you don't want to do that which you don't want to make it something you don't enjoy and lose the fun of it. And then also you don't want to put your family at risk, right? So the question then becomes this. Because see, not all hobbies can become primary source of income. So here's some things you want to ask yourself if you're right now doing something as a hobby and then you're trying to transfer into a business. Here are things to consider. Does your hobby meet a felt need in society? I would even say a growing need. In other words, is there a problem that you are addressing with this hobby that if unaddressed, people complain about, people make demand of it? Let me even go farther and saying this way. Here's what Al Caperna shared. He says, is this healing or hurt? Is this healing or hurt? Something that is essential and necessary, right? Are people willing to pay for it? Because even if you're willing to sell it, if they are unwilling to pay for it, it will remain a hobby. Do you have the ability and the commitment to transform this hobby into a sellable product or service? Right? Are you willing to shift your mindset? Some people might think of this as what they're doing as a ministry, because you can exchange ministry and hobby, right? Something you're doing purely for the joy of it, right? But are you willing to put what it takes to transform it into a sellable product or service? You can actually sell it. Right? Do you have what it takes? If you're not sure, then consider taking Biblical Entrepreneurship, a course, which will help you bring clarity. Or you can take Identity and Destiny, which can also help you bring clarity. Is it worth leaving your current job in terms of both time and money to pursue this hobby as a business? When you consider the potential expenses, will there still be enough to provide for you a living wage? Who else is targeting this demographic? Do you have competition? And are you able to stand apart from the competition? Do you have a clear competitive advantage, something that is unique in the way you're doing it, or is this just another copycat? Are you willing to spend a significant portion of your time developing this business rather than just making it a hobby? Will you pursue this as a business? And what if you lose your joy? In other words, is there a risk of your joy being lost as you pursue this as a business? Right? Because what's important is that if you're doing something purely because you enjoy it, you don't want the pressures of business, of making it sustainable, of paying staff and payroll, of making sure you make a living. You don't want that to be such a pressure that it robs you of the pure joy of doing this business as a pure hobby so you can keep your enjoyment. Right? That's important to note. Because otherwise, if you're not doing something you enjoy, no matter how much money you're making, it's not going to be fun. Right? Before I go to our second part, let me give you some announcements. We have some courses coming up. You go to our event page or our Find a Class page there. You can find the classes like Identity and Destiny, Biblical Entrepreneurship. Right? We have coaching programs like Business Success Accelerator, and we have individual coach. Go to our event page or go to our website, and you can get more there about the courses. Go to Find a Class and the training programs that we have. Now, tomorrow we have a seminar that I'm doing called Finding How to Do Business in Your God-Giving Sweet Spot. Team, if you could put up that registrations link up there, how to do business in your God-Giving Sweet Spot. That's tomorrow at 7 a.m. Pacific time. You want to log in and join and register, right? We have about we have a lot of people registered for this. This is a very popular seminar. All right, so I will kind of walk you through how do you find your God-giving sweet spot in business, and how do you make sure you operate your business based on that. And you'll hear my own story as to how I discovered my God-giving sweet spot and how I'm doing it. And then you'll hear comments from others as well. So join us tomorrow. It's a Zoom seminar. Join us there. There's a link there, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. And let me know if you come tomorrow and you heard about it on this podcast. Let me know so I can greet you. All right, I love greeting our podcast listeners or viewers. Now, so the second exit ramp. So let's say that you realize that, that hobby route is not yours. The second one is becoming a consultant or contractor. And by the way, you can take an exit, come back to the highway and go back off and come back. That is fine. That's called getting experience. Now, so not everyone starts a business with a hobby or side, starts with a business or just as a side business. Others along the marketplace highway may be willing to leap a little further into self-employment, right? And risk their current job and choose entrepreneurial as kind of their thing, right? And and they start fully offering this product and service as a consultant or contractor. What does that mean? So a consultant contractor is someone who offers their unique skills set to one or more clients on a contractual or project basis where they get paid for what they do. They still answer to an employer or have to fulfill terms of their contract, but they have the freedom to determine what service they're going to provide, when they go in, and how they do business. So you may want some freedom, but you still like some security. The consultant or the contract is the way to go. Right? It's just you incorporated. On your journey to entrepreneurship, you may stop there. And some of you guys are there right now. That is okay. You can make lots of money by just being a consultant. You have no employees, you're a contractor, and you just kind of proceed based upon giving yourself the lifestyle that you like, right? That's one. Now, so if you're consulting a contract is not for you, and the next route is that you become a solopreneur. The solopreneur is an entrepreneur, is someone who takes initiative to build a home-based business in order to make a profit. They have no to little employees. They have no employees. A solopreneur is someone who doesn't mind taking some risk, but doesn't have the patience or skill to set up and run an entire organization, right? You're driven to maintain a proper business, but don't have the undue complexity, right? And so you want to offer products and services in a simple and management way, and that you want to do under your leadership to respond to other people, right? So that next exit ramp is becoming a solopreneur. And of course, the ultimate destination is an entrepreneur, right? This is what we call the city of entrepreneurship. All three of the previously mentioned exit ramps will lead you towards this destination. But if you prefer, you can take a direct route towards it, straight into entrepreneurship. And as defined previously, an entrepreneur is an initiator, a job creator who takes risk, solve problems in order to make a profit, right? You are a risk taker. You're solving problem. The essence of an entrepreneur is that they create freedom to explore financial potential and possibilities. You're willing to work and risk to achieve it. Entrepreneurs have vision that goes beyond offering product and services. They are driven to build something. They create system, employ workers, and utilize their gifting, the giftings of others to run their organization. Right? There's no finish line for entrepreneurs. There's always more possibilities on the horizon. And they always create new ways to be innovative, build, and be sustainable. Right? So those are the various paths. And so as you're journeying as an entrepreneur, you can exit as a hobbyist, you can exit as a contractor or consultant, or you can exit as a full-blown entrepreneur. And hopefully you begin as an employee, working somebody else as you begin that journey, because you can get a lot of experience from there. So again, if you have questions about this, please share it with me and make comments with us as we kind of go through. Now, so let's talk about choosing your destinations. And this is going to be, we almost wrapping up here. So although each of the exit ramps move you closer at arriving at entrepreneurship, it's not a compulsory destination. You can go straight, right? Or you can skip some areas. You can go from employment to contractor and then to entrepreneur, right? You can skip areas, right? And as you skip these areas, make sure you're skipping them for the right reasons, and make sure that you're skipping them because you already know it or because it's not your sweet spot, right? And so there are many stories in the book about different individuals and how they chose their path and how they discovered which path was good for them, right? So the question is, are you on the path that's good for you? Are you doing the thing that you enjoy right now? Are you in the appropriate exit ramp? And this book will help you to discover that, to line up for it, and to pursue the things that God has called you to do, because that's where you find joy. All right? That's where you find joy. You find joy in doing the things that God has called you to be. So here's the question. Which role most appeals to you? An employee, where you have a guaranteed salary? You know, these days, not so much guarantee anymore. A business hobbyist, where you're doing this most as a hobby, not relying on it to provide for you. A consultant contractor, where it's just you, and you contract yourself to others to make a living. Or solopreneur, where you start out, you have a few employees, but you're going to keep it as low as possible, maybe home base. Or an entrepreneur, you're going to build something that will allow you to pass it on. You're going to build something else, right? If you're one of those guys who are builders, who like to do things on their own, then that might be for you, right? So how would you rate yourself in those areas? You know, do you have extreme risk tolerance? Or do you looking for freedom, or are you looking for income? Based on what you're looking for, this guide that we have in the book can kind of help you to be able to determine what's the best approach for you. All right. Now, with that said, the next section we're going to discuss, our next meeting, is going to be the entrepreneur ladder. Right? So you understand which exit ramp you want. You want to stay as an employee, you want to work as a consultant contractor, you want to move as a solopreneur, or you want to move as an entrepreneur, right? Based upon where you exit. But the question now becomes this. All right. If you have never heard of biblical entrepreneurship, what is the bottom of the range of the ladder? What's the middle? And what is above the rank? And how do I go from solo entrepreneur, traditional entrepreneur, to socialpreneur, to biblical entrepreneur? Because a socialpreneur is somebody who has done business based on causes, right? They've done it based on what they're passionate about, what they're excited about. They want to see everybody wins, right? While the traditional entrepreneur, they just want to see themselves win. And then the biblical entrepreneur, don't want to see everybody win, but they want to see everybody come to Christ. They want to see everybody come to the knowledge of truth, right? So next time we get together, let's look at the tradition of entrepreneurship, right? Let's look at social entrepreneur. right? Let's look at, what does it look like to be a social entrepreneur? And then once we do that, then let's look why then are there not having a tremendous, why is it that people don't look at social entrepreneurs, particularly from a Christian perspective, as this high, why is biblical entrepreneurship much higher level than social entrepreneur? And the reason is obvious, right? So as we come to conclusion, where are you on this journey? All right, where are you on which exit room are you on? And then as you check your exit, what kind of entrepreneur do you want to be? Traditional, social, or biblical? Right? We'll get into that more in detail. But I hope you've enjoyed the podcast. And if you want a copy of the book, again, go to our website, nehemiahecommunity.com/store product biblical-entrepreneurship-essentials. All right, go there and you can get a copy of the book. You can pre-order, you can download chapter 1, right? And we're going to continue looking at each chapter on a weekly basis until we're done. So that those of you who cannot afford a book, if you want to just get a tape or video, this is available to you. We have a seminar tomorrow called Doing Business in Your God-Giving Sweet Spot. I invite you to attend and be a part of that. There are many other resources on our website that you can go and take advantage of it. With that said, I want to pray for you. Before I do, I want to encourage you to do something for me. If you enjoy this podcast, share it. Share with friends, share with family, share with others that they might join you, particularly as I go through this the next several months. So share it. Share it as much as you can. Put it on your Facebook page, on your Twitter account, on your LinkedIn. Share it. Also, as you share it, if you want to work with us, allow us to help you to become to grow your company, become a trainer, partner with us, whatever it is. Go to our website, Nehemiah Project, nehemiahecommunity.com. There you can learn about our training courses that we have throughout the year in other regions. You can learn about our membership community, where you can be a part and work with us in growing entrepreneurship around the world. There you can be part of our coaching program, have entrepreneurs come alongside you and support you in growing your business. There you can learn about our access to capital, how we come alongside you and provide you financing for your business. Whatever you need, you can learn it from there and engage with us. And as you do, our hopes that we can help you expand your current business or enhance it, or start a new one. With that said, I want to pray with you and I want to pray for you. Well, may the Lord bless you. May the Lord enable you to steward those talents that are under your care. And may you steward those talents through entrepreneurship or a job or whatever God has called you to do, steward it in such a way that one day you can hear those wonderful words. Well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. He'll now make you rule over much. God bless you.